Voyage of Discovery. July 4th, 1803 was a great day for Meriwether Lewis. The tall, slim, 28-year-old captain in the U.S. Army was ready for an awesome journey. Just months before, President Thomas Jefferson named Lewis to head what he called a voyage of discovery. Its goal was clear. Lewis was to explore the vast wilderness that is now the northwestern United States. These were the lands unknown to Americans. On maps of the day, the region was a great blank space. President Jefferson instructed Lewis to follow the Missouri River to its source. He hoped that Lewis would find that the Missouri was linked to the Columbia River in the northwest. That link would make for a direct route to the Pacific Ocean. This route was called the Northwest Passage. In a sense, it would open a highway across America. At the time, all heavy loads moved by water. They floated downstream on rafts or large flat-bottom craft called barges. They were towed upstream on barges. Mules, horses, or oxen drew the barges. Of course, heavy cargo could also be moved by wagon. But there was a limit on how heavy a load any animal could pull on land. Besides, the nation had few roads at the time. West of the Mississippi, there were scarcely any roads at all. There were only trails. President Jefferson not only wanted Lewis to find a Northwest Passage, he was also hungry for information about the Native Americans who lived in the West. He wanted Lewis to learn all that he could about their customs and culture. The president was curious about the land too. Observe, he instructed, the face of the country, its growth and vegetable productions, the animals of the country generally, and especially those not known in the U.S. July 4th, 1803 was also important because of a newspaper story. In Washington, the National Intelligencer reported that Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte of France has sold Louisiana to the United States. The Louisiana Purchase is one of the most important events in American history. With it, the United States gained most of the land between the Mississippi River and the Rocky Mountains. The U.S. Senate approved the purchase on October 20th, 1803. The price agreed upon was $15 million. That amounts to about 4 cents an acre. The Louisiana Purchase changed the expedition, or journey, that Lewis was to lead. It meant that he would be traveling in American territory as far as the Rocky Mountains. The Native Americans in the area were now living on United States soil. No longer did the French rule them. Lewis would be telling the Native Americans that their great father, the President of the United States, lived in Washington. There was also a political meaning to the Louisiana Purchase. Thomas Jefferson was a man of great vision. He saw the United States as a nation that one day would extend from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific. The Louisiana Purchase was a big leap forward in realizing that dream. In Meriwether Lewis, Jefferson believed he had the perfect man to lead the expedition. Lewis's army experience had taught him to cope with life in the wilderness. While in the army, Lewis had been assigned to visit army posts in river cities along the Ohio River. He traveled on horseback. He had also traveled in small boats. He had become a skilled riverman as a result. Lewis was stationed in Detroit early in 1801 when he received important news. Thomas Jefferson had been elected president. In Virginia, the Jeffersons had been neighbors and friends of the Lewis family. Within a week after being elected, Jefferson asked Lewis to become his private secretary. Lewis wasted no time in accepting the offer. Lewis served as Jefferson's private secretary from 1801 to 1803. He lived in the president's house, which later became known as the White House. Jefferson treated him as a member of the family. The subject of exploring the continent west of the Mississippi was often discussed. In a message to Congress on January 18, 1803, Jefferson proposed a voyage of discovery across the continent. Congress approved Jefferson's request. The expedition would soon be a reality. Jefferson told Congress that the expedition could be carried out by an intelligent officer with 10 or 12 chosen men. Jefferson knew exactly who that intelligent officer should be. Jefferson did not announce that the job was open. He interviewed no other candidates. He asked for no one's advice. Meriwether Lewis was Jefferson's one and only choice.